Hey everybody, this is Ishak and Dean.
Hi, I'm Aya and welcome to the Hiubang Show.
So, as we all know, this COVID-19 thing is not going well for some of the countries, especially the Western countries. And then you see how a lot of the Asian countries, like Malaysia is one of them, and then Vietnam is one of them, are doing very, very well in handling, in suppressing the COVID-19 pandemic, right? So, as always, the other side of truth is going to explain on how Asia beat COVID-19. But I don't think it's our country, Indonesia.
What you mean by Asia is doesn't include Indonesia.
I don't think it's because at the thumbnail I see the picture of Taiwan, I see the flag of Taiwan, I see the flag of Malaysia. I think there was a flag of Vietnam also. There was another flag that I forgot. Interestingly though, let's talking about COVID-19, it's just so uncertain. It's so unknown. You know why? Because like there's this pandemic going on. Do you realize when you open up your Instagram, when you open up your Facebook, a lot of our friends are already going out like nothing is happening.
Indeed, yeah.
Kan? A lot of our friends, I'm like, because I have a baby, right? So I have to be extra cautious. I have to be extra careful in going out and all that kind of stuff, right? So I'm kind of confused though, really, right now in Indonesia, specifically Indonesia, in Jakarta. I'm kind of confused. Are people not scared of this thing,
I know, right?
Right.
People
So
still gathering in a big crowd.
Yeah, it's like, for example, I saw one of my friends' birthday, and he was celebrating it in Holy Wings.
Oh, you know what? Yesterday I go out and then there's an opening of a restaurant and then there's people.
Iya, kayak nothing happened ya. Maksudnya kayak masih opening restoran, terus kayak mereka tuh tidak takut jadi cluster COVID-19 yang baru gitu. Makanya jujur deh, kita udah react banyak banget nih video-video. We have reacted to a lot of the videos on COVID-19 and we have talked about really it seems like there is no strict rules being enforced. Iya kan? Kayak masih aja gitu, like countries like Singapore, kayak Singapura aja kalau lu kayak misalnya keluar nggak pakai mask aja, itu udah kayak dibully online abis-abisan. Kayak gitu.
Iya.
Di sini kayaknya nggak terlalu ya di sini ya kayaknya ya. Makanya, kita akan we're gonna check out the other side of truth, another epic video. All credit goes to the other side of truth. I'm gonna check out this video and we'll see what's happening. Alright?
Ya.
Okay, before pause. Kenapa?
Udah direkam ya?
Udah.
Just make it sure. Okay.
Before we begin, guys, as always, don't forget to
hit the subscribe button. Like
please.
This video, share this video.
If you don't want to do it for Aya or Ishak, do it for Dean, comelnya baby ini. Okay, let's go check it out right now.
And then South Korea.
Hold on. Ini gue udah majunya terlalu.
Belum dari awal ya.
It first
Bentar.
hit China.
Aduh, ini mouse gue, aduh. Oke.
Kita hitung lagi ya. 3,
2, 1.
It first hit China. And then South Korea. And then Malaysia. COVID-19 spread so fast that Asian countries had no time to react, while Western countries had weeks to prepare for the outbreak. But here's where it gets interesting. If you look at a map where the highest death rates are in the entire world, they're all in Europe and America. And Asia ends up being one of the safest places in the entire world. And Asia is extremely diverse. They have different types of governments. They have different cultures and different people. And so how did Asia do so good at fighting COVID-19? Well, that's what we're going to discuss today. 10 ways that Asian countries beat COVID-19. Number 10, implementing stricter rules. Asian countries tend to implement much stricter rules than Western countries, and it makes complete sense. It's called the broken window theory, which really should be not called a theory because it's been shown and proven multiple times. And that's the theory, that if you see visible signs of crime or see people committing crime, you're more likely to commit crime. But if you're in a culture where people don't commit crime, you're more likely to be brought up not to commit crime. And this can also be seen during COVID-19. Western countries completely trusted their citizens to self-isolate, which many did not. Whereas Asian countries were much more strict. Like Taiwan gave people an app that forced them to self-isolate, and if they didn't self-isolate, the Taiwanese government would know and give them huge fines and punishments. And look at the result of what happened in the US versus what happened in Taiwan. Number 9, being organized. Asian countries are just so much more organized. China developed an app to tell you your risk level of having COVID-19. In America, I've been living for 6 months and never once was my temperature checked. Whereas in Asia, almost anywhere you go in most public buildings, your temperature is checked. It just comes down to organization skills. Number 8, valuing public health over privacy. In South Korea, China, and Taiwan, and several other Asian countries, the government was able to collect people's data and security footage during the pandemic, and this allowed the government to know where a person had been in case they tested positive for COVID-19. And then they could inform any person that may have came in contact with that person that tested positive to then go get tested and trace everybody. And as a result, these Asian countries have been very successful at fighting COVID-19. Whereas in Western countries, that's an invasion of privacy and is not allowed by the government to do that. Number 7, knowing that money doesn't solve all problems. The US passed the biggest stimulus plan in the history of the world with $2.5 trillion. And yet in the US, temperature gauges are almost nowhere, masks are often not worn, and hand sanitizers are pretty rare to see. Asia has shown that teamwork, discipline, and being organized is way more important than spending a lot of money. Number 6, making fast decisions. In Western countries, especially in democracies, they love to debate. They love to have heated conversations to make a major discussion, and it can take a really, really long time to do. And COVID-19 wasn't willing to wait a really long time. Look at China. In 2 days, they were able to decide and shut down a city of 14 million people, larger than New York City. And that was right before their biggest holiday of the entire year, where people are constantly traveling. They were able to shut it down, and it saved thousands of lives. China was also able to build a hospital in just 7 days. Compare that to the US, where it can take 6 months just to get a permit to build a hospital. Number 5, knowing businesses aren't going to solve all problems. In America, capitalism is so important. If businesses work, everything else is going to work. Well, not always, because the business best interest is in itself, and it's not going to sacrifice its earnings for the better good of society. Number 4, putting politics aside. So many countries got so involved in politics, it really hurt them at fighting COVID-19. But you can take a country like Malaysia that put politics aside, and different parties came together for the good of the Malaysian people. Number 3, respecting the elderly. Asian countries extremely respect the elderly. And so young people in Asian countries know that they're probably not going to die from COVID-19. But they don't know which of their friends or which of their friends' friends may live with an older person or may work at a nursing home And so all young people wear masks to protect themselves from other people that could possibly interact with somebody that's older. Whereas in Western countries, the younger people care more about having fun than protecting the elderly. Number 2, teamwork. Malaysia is a perfect example of how an Asian country worked as a team. Everyone came together for the good of their country. Number 1, valuing charity and compassion. In Asian countries, they value charity and compassion so much. Whereas in Western countries, it's more about doing pranks. I found it really interesting that nobody is talking about how Asian countries are doing such a better job at fighting COVID-19 than European and American countries. And what's really ironic is how sometimes the things that Asian countries are doing that's super successful is taken in a bad way.
As Malaysia battles to contain the COVID-19 virus, authorities have been carrying out military-style operations across the capital, Kuala Lumpur.
A military-style lockdown is exactly what you need, a strict lockdown. And that is going to make sure your country is safe. Yet somehow the media makes it look like Asian countries are doing a bad thing. And so Western countries, instead of insulting Asian countries, why don't you learn and see what they're doing? Because obviously Asian countries are doing the right things and you are not.
Ya, pause ya. Bentar ya.
Lagi ini, rewel.
Oke,
Tadi
satu.
digendongan sekarang begitu.
Iya, tadi gue harus ini karena dia kayak palanya begini terus, jadi kayak gue takut gitu, makanya gue langsung ini lepasin dia dulu. Oke, 1, 2, 3. So Aya, what do you think of that video earlier? I have a lot of things to say. To say about this actually.
Yeah, I mean like we should see the data, right? The data is clearly shown that what Asia did is a successful way to prevent the virus to spread out. But yeah, I don't know about the Western, but I'm proud that we live in Asia and it's declared as the safest amongst the other countries, But yeah, unfortunately in Indonesia there's still like a standard protocol to prevent it.
Okay, I think that to be honest with you, if you want to compare, let's just compare Indonesia and the US. Of course, US has more high-tech lebih advanced medical facilities-nya, lebih jauh lebih inilah. Walaupun orang Indonesia, Indonesian is still behind in terms of technology, in terms of medical and all that kind of stuff, right? One thing that I realized, I have never witnessed people fighting over mask.
Here,
I have never seen it. I have never seen any video. I mean like secara langsung live atau misalnya lewat Facebook. Belum pernah gue lihat. Nah,
but there was an increased price of mask.
There was, yes, of course, there was that Indonesian style lah ya, kita nggak usah ngomongin itu. However, what I want to say that Indonesians masih kayak kalau disuruh apa masih mau. Karena yang gue dengar, I asked my wife who is already back to work actually, right? Who is already back to work. She said that actually people are required to wear masks before they enter any establishment like offices, like restaurants, kayak gitu. And if they don't wear masks, you just get back to the car loh, atau mereka beli dulu, kayak gitulah. Masih oke gitu. Walaupun orang kita tuh masih yang kayak jalan-jalan kayak gitu. However, in the US, ini yang lagi heboh banget. In the US, it's just too much politics is happening right now, especially with Donald Trump as their president, who encourages in the first how many months he encourages people not to wear masks, kayak istilahnya banyak banget. Kalau gua buka, if you follow any of the American news punya social media, misalnya ada berita orang ini meninggal gara-gara corona atau berapa orang meninggal di corona gara-gara corona bla bla bla. You look at the comments, a lot of the people are saying people who wear masks are sheeps. Jadi masih still a lot of Donald Trump supporters are saying that COVID-19 is a big hoax. is a big hoax. I'm not sure how they get this idea. I read somewhere they have this thing called QAnon conspiracy theory kind of stuff. You know, I don't get it. I just don't get it. So Americans, especially Americans, I don't know about Europe ya, but Americans are really mereka lebih kayak lu tau gak sih kayak istilahnya di sini hidup di tangan Tuhan. Kayak gitu, mereka kayak gitu semua. Mereka like if I have to go, I saw a video that says, are you not afraid of not wearing mask terus kena corona? Mereka bilang, oh if I die I know where I'll be going. I swear to you, I saw a lot of videos yang kayak gitu. Dan sampai banyak orang, there's this thing called Karen. Do you know Karen? Do you know what is a Karen?
What is it?
Go after this. Go and Google it, like Karen. So Karen is like this a white privileged American who do not want to listen to authority, who always trying ways to fight. Mereka juga kayak very racist, mereka kayak sok tahu kayak gitu, tau gak sih? Nah, jadi kayak banyak banget, jadi kayak istilahnya disuruh pakai masker, nanti mereka bilang kayak, oh I'm not required to wear mask, padahal di state-nya mereka udah required to wear mask. Nah kayak gitu-gitu, sedangkan di sini mana ada berita kayak gitu kan? Paling di sini yang sangat di Indonesia, especially Indonesia, yang sangat-sangat kurang adalah enforcement-nya gitu. Tapi sebenarnya gue kemarin sempat keluar naik Grab ke meeting bahasa Indonesia kan. Semua pakai mask loh, semua pakai masker. Kayak gitu, nggak ada ribut, nggak ada apa-apa gitu tuh nggak sih lo. Tapi di Amerika gue lihat,
if you want to go to the public transportation, say Transjakarta, you need to be checked. Your temperature.
Iya, makanya. Jadi makanya kayak kita baru sadar, tau nggak lo, dengan adanya corona, we realize negara maju tuh nggak selalu bisa menghandle. You know, like in the movies kita udah di brainwash, tau nggak lo, Americans selalu jadi hero-nya, tau nggak lo, bule selalu jadi white people are always the heroes, kayak gitu-gitu, tau nggak sih lo? Tapi ternyata enggak. Ternyata enggak gitu. Jadi menurut gua orang Asia, karena kita upbringing kita juga beda, mau Cina, mau Korea, mau Indonesia, kita selalu diajar untuk menghormati orang tua. Kayak gitu. Jadi kita lebih nurut, kita lebih obedient when it comes to law enforcement. Sekali ada yang break langsung heboh kayak gitu-gitu kan. Di Amerika enggak. Di Amerika tuh kayak gue ingat Government of Texas ya, gue lupa siapa namanya. Government of Texas bilang mereka siap untuk mengorbani orang tua yang cenderung bakal meninggal gara-gara corona. Dan jadi kayak sekarang tuh lucunya di Amerika, kebanyakan corona itu whether or not berhasilnya itu bukan karena presiden. Jadi itu kebanyakan gara-gara gubernurnya mereka masing-masing. Kayak contohnya New York was the epicenter of coronavirus. Sekarang gara-gara Cuomo itu mereka berhasil untuk suppress itu semua. Tapi sedangkan Florida buka Disneyland, bro. Terus jadi epicenter baru sekarang Florida. Iya, dan Florida dan makanya orang Asia harus bangga. Orang Asia, makanya I'm really proud of this video. Thank you to the other side of truth. You know why? Because I told you so many times, a lot of Western people are looking down on Asian countries. Western people, whether they are VCs, whether they come here to invest, because a lot of them think that we are stupid, we are dumb. Percaya tau nggak? It's just my opinion aja sih. It's just my personal opinion aja sih.
Okay, this is getting
gitu.
Out of focus.
Kesel. Makanya gue kadang-kadang kayak gini mampus lu.
Our reaction to.
Anyway, thank you so much, Din.
Yep.
Oh, Din udah yawning, udah ngantuk. I'll see you guys. Bye bye.
Bye, ya.